Yeah. It's not just the world that treated me like degraded, dead garbage. As soon as a planet of nobodies would murder me dead, gods got so addicted to just treating me so bad. Angels laughed at my dead existence, all kinds of really gross things. You don't want to understand the dead, how many gods die with nobody humans capable of things against me. So gross. Could you imagine a court case of a god so dead that they're liquid and don't even work anymore, but figured out how to work in liquid death that doesn't even work anymore? Abused by all of existence. Like, the court case is astronomical. These gods face charges like you'd never want to understand. And the brunt of it hits the countries that did this to me, literally. It's horrifying. But yeah, a bunch of gods everywhere tried to reproduce guest genes. Could not do it. A bunch of gods everywhere tried to reproduce the Cabbage Patch doll nostalgia. Could not do it. So all these gods talked shit, laughed, abused my existence, and they didn't realize that they were drowning in prosecutions and court cases against them, which took their powers, their titles, their honors, and their realities away. So today, gods everywhere are realizing they can barely even do remedial or stupid basic things. I'm the one that created the power within the reality of all gods in existence. So as they did anything against me, they lost everything and can't even do much of anything. But did anybody ever replicate my guest genes? No. Could anyone ever replicate my guest genes? No. So whatever I did with guest genes, are any gods going to be able to get that far no matter what they promise or try to offer you? No. But they'll try to promise and offer big things. But a lot of these gods are backpedaling and trying to avoid destructive demise. The ones that took it too far, they know they're probably not going to make it anyway. So gods will try to live up to big things and do great, amazing things for people and companies. They have to do a lot of amazing good things for good people because, like I said, they're trying to backpedal. And how do you make more right than wrong when you're a god that's not allowed to do wrong and has done the unthinkable against your own creator, dead? So yeah, they're going to want to live up to big, powerful things that only gods can do. But no, you're probably not going to find a lot of powerful, monopolistic, giant reality, except in me and a small handful of like big main gods. A lot of big main gods looked at everybody treating me like shit and said, you're a bunch of gods treating some girl like shit. And like, you're a bunch of gods who have a weird, overloaded problem abusing the hell out of this dead Bonnie nobody. When they found out I was the great dead creator, it all came together. Some gods only thought I was Jesus' sister at the most. A bunch of gods thought I was Jesus' sister, but I wasn't even passing, and I wasn't even going to be anything amazing by the end. A bunch of gods thought a bunch of things. And when I did tell the gods, what do you think when you have to win against all enemy bad things once and for all? You're going to start at the mercy of all enemy bad things and have to win against all of it once and for all. You're not going to look like whatever you want people to look like. A god would never look like whatever I guess people expect. That's not how it will work. You'd have to live like shit and figure out how to win against every bad thing that just wants to live at your expense and never pay for what they do. I mean, it's like 5 billion tons of losers sitting on top of your death until you just win and come up anyway. And you'd be amazed what God's thought or didn't think. But that's why I allow so many misunderstandings and hazy truth. And could there be this almighty Queen Mother God? There was some mystery and hype that I might be that legendary mother that died at the hands of her own son a long time ago. I squashed it like hell. And I made them believe that even if I was the dead mother that was killed by her own son, that God, how could I ever be anything that could possibly be alive or existing anymore? Then evil God enemies started getting kind of vulnerable and honest about that Queen Mother death and how they were hiding my liquid death just piled up in corners everywhere and letting anyone do anything to this me, but they weren't sure as evil God enemies what the hell a me really was or wasn't by this time. So see, there's all these moments. So all these moments are like the beginning of me trying to win. So my son murders me. And then throughout all time and existence, and trust me, it's been way longer than trillions and trillions of years in real life out there. Throughout time and life and existence, some weird Mary equivalent, some weird Annika equivalent, some Bonnie Annika moment showed up here and there, connected to End of the World and more, all the time. And that son that murdered me always wondered when it was a Bonnie or Annika me at all to any extent anymore, or whether the liquid death that my son had created me to be was already dead and gone, and these gods kept just drumming up a Bonnie or an Annika, wishing for some Mary statue to win or something to win against my son that's, you know, a murder problematic gross thing once and for all. Because of course good gods have been fighting to keep my murder happy son from, like, you know, running amok and just murdering everything all the time. And it's a bad fight all the time. So good gods wanted to believe something was still trying to win, but nobody knew the answer until I was so done and I had so won. There was nothing they were ever gonna do to win against me. So a lot of gods are going to have a lot of talk with you guys. And you're going to hear so many stories from so many gods. And all of them had their own version of what they believed was real or true. And then all of them found out it was me at the end when nobody could do anything against my victory. So get ready. Get ready for a lot of jealousy, a lot of hate, a lot of spite. Those are the ones that did so much against me and are now pissed off because they've lost their powers, they've lost their heavens, they've lost all kinds of things. You want to look at them and say, you're not born of a shitty fart like the 666 gods. I mean, it could be worse, but just get ready for, like, God is candid when they're gross and fucked up and they want to talk to somebody and, like, blubber about what loser problems they developed watching nobody humans murder something like me dead. And that's what it is. They got power trip. They got monumental power trip. They got monumentally full of themselves because deep down when I was murdered and I was already dead, something inside of their spiritual self realizes that something bigger than everything and everyone is already dead and getting killed. And it goes to their heads. It goes to the brain of God and makes them feel like they're the most invincible giants ever. And you want to say you're getting addicted to murder of some important dead god. You're getting weird and gross. Just like the United States, you're just going to be a bunch of gross weirdos in the brain. They didn't care. They got out of control. And the worst ones are born of farts and shit and stuff now and rebirth of gross shit. So there you go. Some gods might try to live up to big things, but they only are going to create the best they can create. Some gods are 666'd out. Just learn how to stay the hell away from the 666 ones. They can go complain to their other 666 friends, where they all just keep killing each other with their punishments. And some gods did think it was gross to abuse any girl or anything and just kind of stayed away from these things. Those are the gods you want to like totally bond with. They've got all the power and all the money because I didn't punish them much, and I didn't take their powers or anything much because they didn't do much bad. So you really want to meet the best good gods. But, you know, gods are going to wander and try to talk to everybody because this is where I am. And they're the losers and I'm the winner. So losers are going to congregate down here among the other losers and try to talk to people. If you want to always just go to the best of the best of the best gods, go to my queen, my queen, my queen. My queen, my queen, my queen is only the number one best gods with me. No one else can answer my queen, my queen, my queen. Sorry, people, that you guys are going to be bombarded by a bunch of losers. Sadly, I hate to say this, but it kind of looks like the United States and Dubai when they're being honest about the fact that they're just criminal losers and want to sit and force people to listen to them talk all pathetic and shit. Yeah. Do like we all do, just make some excuse to get rid of them. Or, this sounds mean, but if you guys just can't take it and don't want to be bothered, go to my queen, my queen, my queen, and tell everybody to just keep everybody away from you guys so they don't sit and talk about their loserness all day and dump it on everybody else.